Institute of Child Health, Lahore. And we are about to, excuse me. Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Muhammad Usman Khalid, Senior Registrar from Department of Neonatology, Children's Hospital and the Institute of Child Health, Lahore. And we are about to begin the concluding session of this remarkable event, Neocloakium 2021. I request the honor of your presence on the stage, our worthy chief guest, Professor Dr. Tahir Masood. Dr. Tahir Masood, teacher of our teachers with huge services in the field of pediatrics, is the former Dean of Children's Hospital and Institute of Child Health, Lahore, is the former President of Pakistan Pediatric Association, currently the head of Pediatrics Department, Rashid Latif Medical College, Lahore. I would also like to request our guest of honor of this concluding session, Professor Iqbal Memon Saab, to join us on the stage. Professor Iqbal Memon Saab is the president-elect of Asia Pacific Pediatric Association from 2018 to 2021, Commonwealth Association Pediatric Gastroenterology and Nutrition, is the member standing committee of International Society of Tropical Pediatrics, is the former president of Pakistan Pediatric Association, is the member standing committee of IPA from 2013 to 2016, is the head of department and professor of pediatrics at Sir Syed Medical College of Girls, Karachi since 2012. I would like to request our special guest, Dr. Louis Pearson, to please join us on the stage. Dr. Louis Pearson, she is the acting associate director and chief of health program, UNICEF New York headquarters. In this role, she provides strategic leadership, management support, and overall direction to UNICEF's global health program. Dr. Pearson has worked with UNICEF for last 20 years at headquarters, regional, and country levels. Dr. Louis Pearson has worked in China, Pakistan, Nepal, Ethiopia, Hong Kong, United Nations, and United Nations agencies. I would request Professor Sajid Makbul to please join us on the stage. He's the Professor Emeritus, Teachers of Teachers, and former Dean of Children's Hospital and Institute of Child Health, Lahore. Professor Sajid Makbul is the Chief Patron of Neocloakium 2021. Now I would invite Professor Khwaja Ahmed Irfan Waheed to please come on the stage. Professor Khwaja Ahmed Irfan Waheed is the Professor of Neonatology and the chairman of this event, Neocloakium 2021. I would request Professor Salman Ali to please come on the stage. He will announce the best oral presenter and poster presentation. Also, I would invite Professor Sajid Makbul for prize distribution. Sir, Professor Salman Ali, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. This is the announcement of the awards. The Professor Sajid Makbul Award of Best Poster goes to Fatima Hemani, and it will be received by Professor Rehan. Professor Rehan. There are two second best poster awards by Professor Akmal Laik. I would request Professor Akmal Laik to join us on the stage, and the prize goes to Dr. Hafiz Muhammad Anwar and Dr. Rafia Gul. The best oral presentation prize. Okay. Dr. Rafia Gul.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The best oral presentation prize by Professor Sajid Maqbool goes to Dr. Nadeem Iqbal.
Dr. Nadeem Iqbal.
Dr. Nadeem Iqbal. There is also a special award for oral presentation by Dr. Junaid Muhib Khan, and it goes to Dr. Javeria Yunus. Dr. Junaid Muhib Khan. Well, Professor Khalid Haq Research Bursary was announced. The proposals received till now have not come up to the mark as evaluated by the panel of judges for this bursary. So we have extended the date up till June so that they can improve it and we have more participants. बस मेरे ख्याल में आखिर में मैं एक शेर सुनाता चला जाऊं, बच्चों के छोटे हाथों को चांद सितारे छूने दो, चार किताबें पढ़कर ये भी हम जैसे हो जाएंगे.
Sir, thank you, Professor Salman Ali. Sir, here is a souvenir for Professor Salman Ali, and I will request Professor Sajid Maqbool Saab to please give souvenir to Professor Salman Ali. Thank you, Professor Salman Ali and Professor Sajid Maqbool. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Louis Pearson to please share few words with us. Dr. Louis Pearson.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Louis from UNICEF New York, the Principal Health Advisor. I left Lahore 25 years ago. I used to work in UNICEF Punjab office and perhaps in Dr. Tahir's position. for the health and nutrition program. In the past decades, I have seen a lot of progress in Pakistan. I couldn't have imagined such a conference in 1996 with so many pediatricians, experts, and with your studies. So congratulations, all the professors, all the pediatricians and experts. What I want to share from UNICEF's point of view are just three things. First is traveling to the urban slums and the rural areas. I want to put in front of you the equity agenda. Those children who reach you and those children who don't reach you. With some areas with 50% home birth, there are a lot of neonatal conditions, complications could have been prevented. So I ask you to devolve your quality of care, your clinical expertise to district level, to THQs and BHUs. In rural Sindh, last week, I visited several health facilities, including basic health unit and the THQs. When I looked at the clinical registers of the pediatric ward, there was hardly any neonates registered with the doctors or pediatricians. So where do the sick children, sick neonates, seek care in urban slums, in remote rural areas? We need to know. And I listened to some of your studies with great interest, and it's great to see that the young pediatricians doing this kind of research. And I like to encourage you to go beyond the tertiary care level. Design more studies at the community level, at basic health unit and the rural health facilities, and see what is happening there beyond the hospital bed. And from UNICEF's point of view, newborn care remains a top priority. In the world, every year we lose 2.5 million newborns from preventable causes in the whole world, and perhaps the same number of stillbirths, so around 5 million neonatal deaths and the stillbirths. Many of them are fresh stillbirths, take place every year in the world, including a big share of Pakistan. So UNICEF is committed to the agenda of reducing newborn mortality, improving newborn health in the world and in Pakistan. So I thank you for your effort, and I look forward to even stronger health systems and better maternal and newborn care in Pakistan. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Louis Pearson. Now we are proceeding for souvenir distribution, and I'll request Professor Dr. Tahir Masood to please come up front. I would request Dr. Louis Pearson to please come and receive her souvenir. Thank you. Our next man is Professor Iqbal Memon Sab. So please come up front. Professor Rehan Ali Saab, Dr. Najaf, Dr. Najaf Masood. So Dr. Amreen is receiving souvenir for Dr. Najaf Masood. Dr. Suleiman Javed, thank you, sir. May I request you to please share few words with us. Professor Tahir Masood as a chief guest.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dignitaries on the stage, neonatologists, pediatricians, participants, ladies and gentlemen. This is a matter of great honor for me to be invited to this concluding ceremony of a new colloquium 2021. And first of all, I would express my sincere thanks to Professor Khaja Irfan Waheed and the organizers for this invitation. And then I must express my sincere gratitude and sincere appreciation to them for holding this hybrid event. And this was very encouraging to know that this is being attended by participants from almost 23 countries of the world. I think this is a great achievement, given the fact that we are facing the COVID pandemic. I think neonatology group of Pakistan Pediatric Association is the largest group and is the most vibrant, the oldest, I would say, the oldest group and the most vibrant group as far as the academic activities are concerned. And these activities are being conducted very, very regularly. And Children's Hospital Lahore and Khaja Irfan Waheed and his team has always been at the forefront. It's very, very knowledgeable event, and it's a pleasure and it's a great benefit to all of us to attend this event. Ladies and gentlemen, you are all aware that we are the worst as regards the neonatal mortality is concerned. There are some obvious reasons which are always considered as an excuse to have such a high mortality, and that is that we are a resource-constrained country, and secondly, that equity in healthcare that is not there. But these are not the only factors, because the countries with the same economic background, they have excelled us, and even Bangladesh, which was part of us about 50 years back, is doing very well in the health indices, especially the health indices related to child health and related to neonatal mortality. Their neonatal mortality is around 30, and Sri Lanka, which is almost having the same economic background, has the single-digit mortality as regards the infant mortality is concerned, and neonatal mortality is even less. So there are many things which we have to focus upon, and I think the onus is on the neonatology group of Pakistan Pediatric Association in particular, and all pediatricians and the Pakistan Pediatric Association in general, that we have to take part, we have to contribute in this aspect. And again, we should not find excuses that the government personnel or the various agencies which are taking care of the various health-related projects, they are not inviting Pakistan Pediatric Association to be part of their activities. We should be at the forefront, and we should be what they say, that taking the bull by the horns, and we should be proactive in these things. I think majority of these deaths, as we all know, are preventable. And we have excelled as regards the expertise and availability of expertise and availability of the hospital infrastructure is concerned, that we are progressing that in that aspect, and we are improving our modalities as regards the treatment is concerned, like therapeutic hypothermia and many other modalities which were discussed in these 2 days. But we have to work at some other level so as to improve our health indices. There have been various vertical programs which have been running in this country to improve under different names, like IMNCI, like the reproductive health, Save the Newborn. But those programs were not very sustainable. Recently, UNICEF is striving to improve, to embark on to the project of managing possible severe bacterial infections where the referral is not feasible, and it's working on that. And I hope that project would work, and ultimately we would be successful to work at the grassroots level to improve our health indices, which is the need of the day. I would also urge upon my colleagues, my neonatologists, pediatricians, that in their own capacity, they should also work, because I think that even if there is an iota of difference in terms of the improvement in the newborn care, that would have a cumulative and trickle-down effect. And for that, I must urge upon them that, as Professor Khalid Haq said, that early bonding with the mother and the initiation of early breastfeeding, that goes a long way as far as the development of the neonatal brain is concerned. So we are all working at the government hospitals, we are all working at the private hospitals as well. There have been initiatives in the past like baby-friendly hospitals, but these effects or these initiatives, they dwindled down, and nowadays there isn't any such activities like baby-friendly hospital initiative, with the result that we have decline in exclusive breastfeeding. As far as the private hospitals are concerned, I think we are all aware that the babies who are born, they go to the normal newborn nursery, or with the cesarean deliveries, they must go to the newborn nursery, and they are separated from the mothers. And we pediatricians have to play a role, and we should not subscribe to the policies of the private hospitals, and we should actually put our foot down, so that there should not be any normal newborn nurseries. All babies who are delivered, they should go to the mother for their care, for the care of the baby, for early initiation of breastfeeding. This is how we can make actually a difference, and ultimately these minor things would go a long way in improving the neonatal mortality in our country. In the end, I would express my sincere thanks to the organizers. This was a pleasure to be part of this activity, and I really enjoyed staying here and really enjoyed attending the various academic sessions. I think the neonatal group of Pakistan Pediatric Association would continue to work, and would continue to work beyond the individual laurels to improve the neonatal mortality in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I'll request Professor Sajid Makmool to please give souvenir to Professor Tahir Masood, our chief guest. Thank you, Professor Tahir Masood. I'll request the chief patron of this event, Neocloquium 2021, Professor Sajid Makbul, for his concluding remarks.
जुनेद साहब बात तो सुनते जाइए. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, जुनेद साहब मैं आपसे कह रहा हूँ दिल थाम के बैठो कि अब हमारी बारी आई है. आप कहाँ जा रहे हैं? 2 मिनट से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. जहाज तो नहीं जा रहा आपका? Well, actually, I want to, first of all, and then you may leave after this, of course, is to thank the speakers for such a wonderful 1.5 days that we have had. I am all admiration for the zeal, the fervor, the commitment, the dedication of our expatriates, as I call them, who have left for greener pastures, who have gone to the United States, United Kingdom, the Middle East. But despite having done so well in all these countries, in their institutions, some of them have done pioneering work. They have not lost sight of those like us who have chosen to stay. And they have enriched our experiences, added to our knowledge, tried to encourage us to change our ways. I actually do appreciate this gesture on their part, and especially the reason I wanted Dr. Junaid Mohib Khan to hear this is that he is one of the most frequent visitors to Pakistan. He comes here at the drop of a hat, as does Professor Sajjad Rahman, sitting right here. And they have been a tremendous resource for us. I love this country. We are a very resilient people. We are resilient despite the dismal figures that we have in our health sector. We are also, the UNICEF representative might be surprised to hear, and she's not hearing because Iqbal Saab is sitting next to her. I said you may be surprised to hear that despite all the dismal figures that we have for health and elsewhere, other things, you'd be surprised to know that we are one of the happiest nations in the world. I don't know why, but we are. So here's to all the Pakistanis. Well done. We are very resilient and we are going to get better. We are going to get better with time. I can assure you that. I also want to thank UNICEF at this time. UNICEF has been a partner with pediatrics, with general health, with preventive pediatrics, especially with neonates and the mothers. And I have often wondered whether we would have been able to arrive here without their support. So a big hand for UNICEF for having come along with us. And of course, the organizers of this conference, this wonderful team led by, may I dare say, one of my dearest, should I say it, my dearest student, Professor Irfan, who I was shocked to hear may be retiring soon. So that tells you that I'm getting old. But I mean, what a wonderful team he has collected, whether it be, I can't name all of them, but they're all standing right here and they've done a remarkable job. Now, I think we have learned a lot over the last 1.5 days or 2 days. And if you allow me just a few minutes to summarize what I think has been said. And then, of course, you can ponder on whether I've accurately understood what has been implied. We had an excellent excellent beginning by the very knowledgeable Professor Huck, who has been a beacon of support for neonatology here in Pakistan, who at present I think must be sleeping because of the time difference. He's in California right now. But his emphasis on the brain, we have understood the evolution and the functioning of the brain as it occurs, and he made it sound so easy and so clear. But the message here is that we should let the brain grow. And we can only let the brain grow if the fetus continues to grow. And we can only do that if we take care of the mother. And this is for the attention of UNICEF, which is another area that they are helping us, and they must emphasize this, and we must also understand, unless we have healthy young women, and unless we make sure that they have adequate nutrition and they're free of illness, they have appropriate timing of pregnancy, proper interval of pregnancy, proper antenatal care, the place of delivery, which is attended, and then if we have all these people here, which includes not only doctors, but the health visitors and the traditional birth attendants or the trained birth attendants who can look after that very important time in a baby's life, we cannot make a dent. This is a package. It's the mother and the child. We must let the baby's brain grow and come at a time. I have argued in the past that at least two, if not all three problems that cause neonatal mortality, prematurity, birth asphyxia, and to some extent even infections, are obstetrical problems, not necessarily problems that have to be dealt with pediatricians. If you have a healthy mother, she's going to go to term. In very few instances, it is inevitable. And the same thing happens with birth asphyxia and to a certain extent with infections, the three commonest causes. Now, we also have learned that something that we have been telling you all along, be gentle. Be gentle. I remember when I was an examiner, and Professor Iqbal and Professor Tahir can attest to that, when we were looking at these pediatricians, one of the things that I wanted to look at was, how does this candidate handle that child? Is he gentle? Is he caring? Is he examining the baby gently? Does he have soft hands to handle this particular child? Then I would know that this would be a good pediatrician. Exactly the same thing applies to the neonate. How we handle the neonate. Look at what we are doing. Noisy environments, and you have heard what the effect of that is. Lights. Even our nurses are shouting in the nursery. The doctors, they're shouting at each other. So we are polluting the environment of a very delicate young brain, which is trying to grow very rapidly. We must, in the management, include a very, very careful history, which sometimes we have forgotten the art of, and a very good physical examination. We have forgotten that we should be able to do a neurological examination. And I can assure you, those who thought a while back that a proper examination of the nervous system cannot be done are absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. You can do a proper neurological examination of the neonate. It gives you tremendous information. Just a simple few-minute examination gives you the information. This is a summary of what has been said here. I'm not giving you a new lecture. I'm just reiterating what has been said. We should also learn to avoid unnecessary tests and unnecessary manipulations and unnecessary I hope Dr. Abid Qureshi doesn't mind unnecessary radiological investigations. I also wonder and worry a little because it is easy for Dr. Sajjad to say, early suspicion, you start treatment. The problem with people like us is we are going to treat everybody as if they have meningitis. And that frightens me. And that frightens me because now, when we were using far too many medicines, far too many antibiotics, we are now going to use even more antibiotics. We are now going to include antivirals in our treatment. And we're going to treat far too many little babies, babies who may not require all these tests. I hope, Dr. Sajjad, you don't mind this. It doesn't take anything away from what you've said. It just is the way we are. You know, we look at the two drugs here, and we look at the acyclovir, and we say, okay, this is the treatment to go on with. So monitoring, observation, a very careful history examination, and applying the brain of the doctor to consider what you're doing to this particular baby is most important. I think that is the lesson that I have learned in the last 2 days, thanks to the distinguished speakers. You have, I'm sure, learned a lot more, but with my brain, I can only take so much. So thank you once again, the distinguished speakers and the distinguished guests, especially Professor Iqbal Memon, who's come all the way from Karachi, the city of learning, the city of lights. And somebody said city of garbage these days. Is there a lot of garbage there? Oh, sorry. He's not listening, so it doesn't matter. We are just as bad these days. So thank you very, very much, and Godspeed.
Thank you, Professor Sajid Makbul. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call the Secretary Organizing Committee, Dr. Bushra Fatima, for vote of thanks.
One. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Tahir Masood Ahmad, Professor Emeritus and the Chief Patron of New Cloakium, Professor Sajid Makbul, Chairman Organizing Committee, New Cloakium, and the Head of New Neurology Department, Professor Haja Ahmed Irfan Bahid, my dear speakers, respected teachers, colleagues, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It's my privilege to have been asked to present a vote of thanks on this occasion. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live with them. I, on the behalf of Children's Hospital Lahore and the entire organizing team, extend a very hearty vote of thanks. First of all, to Almighty Allah for affording us opportunity to get together for teaching and learning purposes. And then to all speakers and facilitators for gracing your important work and sharing knowledge with us. I am very grateful to our mentor, Professor Sajid Makbul, Professor Khalid Haq, Professor Masood Sadeh, Professor Muhammad Salim, and his administration team, and especially to Professor Irfan Wahid and Dr. Sikandar Hayat, who guided me at every step in organization of this conference. My sincere gratitude to our national and international speakers who have traveled under current circumstances to enlighten us with their knowledge and experience. I also thank Department of Neurology, Development Pediatrics, and Department of Radiology of Children's Hospital Lahore, team of Military Hospital Rawalpindi, and the Fatma Memorial Hospital Lahore for their valuable contribution. My sincere thanks to UNICEF Punjab, Neonatology Group of Pakistan Pediatric Association, Punjab Emergency Services, Rescue 1122, IT company BRN Associates, Sahel Event Organizers, Audiovisual Team, Hotel Management, Equipment, Nutrition and Pharma companies for their support. Ladies and gentlemen, event of this magnitude involving so many dignitaries requires continuous effort spanning over the whole year. My gratitude shall be incomplete without thanking all the members of organizing team who worked diligently to make this conference a success and highly sought for. Thank you very much, all of the organizing team. During these 2 days, we had around 254 delegates who physically attended the conference and 531 who were with us virtually from 23 different countries. It's been a great pleasure having you with us, both physically and virtually. We look forward to see you in New Colloquium 2022 next year, inshallah, where we shall together explore infectious diseases of the neonates. Till then, thank you and Allah Hafiz, and please join us in the lunch. There is another announcement. We will be having a faculty on organizers group photo in the Kohinoor Hall. Thank you so much. Group photo will be here. Please join us.